Yeah. People say, yo, where you come from? New York, Jersey? No, you from Philly, somewhere like that, right? They like, where you from? Yo, I'm from VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that two up, two down, two up, two down. Lyrics get up in ya. That's how we do it, Virginia. I'm from VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that two up, two down, two up, two down. Tide water, Nova, 804. Lyrics get up in ya. That's how we do in Virginia. We push that hollow weight and then we flip that mega tender. Oh, you ain't remember the ball and die agenda. Out of town to see the taxes moving here, they reconsider. I customize that glass slipper. You putting dogs in the wrong shoe. Coming for that queen cone, that's something that you won't do. Oh, you think you wrong, boo? I got a song for you, but I'ma finesse this VA anthem because we coming through. VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that two up, two down, two up, two down. Lyrics get up in ya. That's how we do it, Virginia. I'm from VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that two up, two down, two up, two down. Tide water, Nova, 804. I was born in the Commonwealth, so I'm smarter than most. We have so many great colleges, it's so easy to boast. HBCU, BUU, BSU, HU, BCU is the juggernaut. Buying up all the damn blocks, but I'ma rep that ODU, and yes, I'm a dumb now. I got that lion in my heart, so baby boy, don't try. Common sense, street smart, sexy spitter, that part trifecta complete. I got more longer than Whole Street. A month of 11, I was in 757. Took advantage of the fact I was in Tidewater heaven. Open mics, showcases, dope places, all around. Cadillacs, Queensway, shotguns, they know me down. So it's a must, I gotta wear the crown. I'll be the goat before I put the mic down. VA raised me from a baby, no breath with my tongue. They don't want that done. I'm from VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that. Down, two up, two down. Lyrics get up in ya. That's how we do it, Virginia. I'm from VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that. Two up, two down, two up, two down. Tide water, Nova, 804. VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that. Two up, two down, two up, two down. Lyrics get up in ya. That's how we do it, Virginia. I'm from VA, VA, yeah, baby, I'm from VA, VA. Can't deny that. Two up, two down, two up, two down. Tide water, Nova, 804. 804, I told ya. 757, baby, I told ya. 540, baby, I told ya. 703, baby, I told ya. 804, baby, I told ya. 434, baby, I told ya. 540, baby, I told ya. 757, baby, I told ya. Hey, hey, yeah, baby, I'm from VA. Yeah, baby, I'm from VA. Yeah, baby, I'm from VA. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad, too sad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad, too sad. You a ziploc bag, cause I got the freshest person. Put you in a body bag, you dead now, there's a line of hurt. I got it tote, a touch to get the dough. You call them person. My spit is ill, yo, it's contagious. You gon' need them nurses. Personalities lanes, yo. Brown girl with a black flow. Land on for you, red yo. Tie yellow ring around the tree, man, they missing you and you gone, yo. Need the wins like LeBron, though. Got money on my horn, yo. Don't trust a man, no money machine. Licking my thumbs, counting my doctor fingertips are green. I don't need a cuss in every verse to make it sound obscene. I just made up 21 rappers cause I need protein. Got the man from the God, now I'm microphone fame. I mean, I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad, too sad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad. Don't put that money to my ear, yo. I'm putting that in portfolio. Love to see my green stash so I can leave that. Then I love to see I hate I suck on that. Like I age bag, Jack. Flex on the wall. Show you how I ball. Got God on my side, so I can risk it all. My bars are hefty, hefty. Yours are wimpy, wimpy. Show me that you got the sauce, looking kinda skimpy. I don't want no drama, so please don't try to tip me. I got hitters coming from the Commonwealth. If you hit me on the backhand side. Look how I ride out. I flow it, got a lubricant kit. See how I slide out? Let me find out. You don't know what getting back's about. I will never have a writer's drop. You have self-doubt. Sit down and pout. I with the old and with the new. There's no telling what I'm gonna do. Spending my money and saving it too. I got the power like I'm Dr. Who. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad, too sad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad, too sad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad, too sad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. I get the bag and they mad. Too bad, too sad. Bags and they mad. I'm getting bags and they mad. Oh, I'm getting bags and they mad. I'm getting bags and they mad. Oh, I'm getting bags.
I can feel you on my left shoulder. Will the night come? You always say you can't remember. Well, I glance across the room, just doesn't cut it like you used to. I think we'll finally do for a walk after all. You got me up you're far too set in your ways. Don't be scared, I'm trying to find some new escape. So let's call off the rules. You've been on work, it's time to close. I think we'll finally do for a walk after. You got me, I'm
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? The 12 noon hour has hit, and you are live and on prime time with your girl Lily Mae, formerly known as SENOJ. And so I'm so excited today because I have two spectacular with me. Now, you already know that this platform is all about paying homage to those individuals who have come before us, but accordingly also making certain that we're always honoring those who are behind the scenes and making things happen. And so today, my first guest of the hour, I am so honored and just elated to have him with me. Now, he is an entrepreneur, platinum producer. He is referenced as an American record producer, but he's also a recording engineer, musician, and he is a brand all by himself. And so, since the early 90s, he has not only helped create the trademark sound of the South, but he has also laced his beats for an impressive multitude of artists, including the revered Tupac Shakur, Scarface, UGK, and Jay Z. Most recently, I'm going to let him tell you what he has worked on. And so, without further ado, I present to you Mr.
How you doing?
I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. How are you?
I'm having a problem hearing. I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, can you hear me now? Are you able to hear me now? I think you froze on me. Alrighty, guys. It looks like we might have some technical difficulties. Now, those of you who are out there watching, can you guys hear me? Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Hello? Hello, hello. I'm not certain. I don't think. So it seems like Leah can hear me. So, Mr. Lee, let's see. We're going to take you out and hopefully you can come back in. All right, guys, let's see what's going on because Mr. Lee is unable to hear me. So he might have to go out and come back in. Thanks so much, guys. Not really sure what's going on. So we're gonna see if we can get Mr. Lee to go back out and come back in. But guys, while you're listening and while you're watching, today is very, 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 very interesting because our second guest of the hour just dropped the track, and so I think it's going to be super dope, super dope. I wanted to try to get her on before July 31st, but it's all good. Today is the second day, and I have her on, and so it's awesome. But we're gonna see if we can get Mr. Lee back. So, guys, I'm gonna let you listen to Leah's tunes while we're waiting. All right. So I
Okay,
think, Mr. Lee, you hear me now, darling?
I can hear you.
Sounds good. You know what? Sometimes if someone calls you
when we're streaming, it would knock the sound off. So that's why I always tell people, if at all possible, use a laptop or a desktop. That way you don't have to get knocked off. But look, you hear, and we ready to get it rocking and rolling. So tell us who Mr. Lee on the track is.
Mr. Lee, just a little regular dude from Louisiana, from Pineville, Louisiana. I moved to Houston in 1996. I started my music career there, where I produced records for people like Scarface, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Lil Keke, Tupac, Jay Z, Mary J. Blige, Nipsey Hussle, Backstreet Boys. Who else did I do? AZ, just a ton of people.
Okay, okay. Now, let's go back because people need to understand the journey. They need to understand the journey. How did this all begin?
Well, I started my music career in church. You know, what I mean, I played in the church when I was 9 years old. So my love for music and passion began when I was a kid. And I was able to. I was blessed to get in a situation where I moved to Houston in my 20s. I was like 21, 22, and that's when I started my professional career.
So now this is interesting because everybody, it seems like everybody got their start doing music in church. And it's so funny because even some of our more hardcore rappers, like the first thing they say is, "Well, I went to church one with my grandma, and I'd be sitting in church playing the drums." Or I was, y'all already know we all made beats on that Burgundy hymn book, the New National Baptist Hymnal. If you went to a Southern church, you already know you used to be on that Burgundy hymnal.
You got to
And
have it.
so I think that's very, very interesting. Now, you have really worked with the greats. I'm talking about the greats. So what has it been like though? Because I mean, everybody call themselves a sound engineer or a sound artist or a producer, but what do you feel sets you apart from everybody else?
I mean, just being an individual. You know, what I mean, it's not. It's easy when you're not a trend chaser or you're not
Ooh,
chasing trends and you got your own sound. I've been consistent for almost 30 years. So the difference in between me and a lot of people that's out now, an average producer life is probably in between 3 to 5 years if they're lucky. I've been able to do it for 30. So, I'm in a
okay.
small group of people that's actually been able to succeed at what I'm doing for past 10 years. I've been doing it 27 years.
My gracious. Okay, all right. So let's expand on because you said something that speaks volume. You're not a trend chaser.
No.
You know, starting your journey, I'm pretty sure um, there were some setbacks, right? And because people feel what they don't know. And so I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure starting in the industry, it was like, okay, you didn't have access to everything that you have now. Because what, 27 years, I can only imagine what things looked like 27 years ago. Because for me, I remember my mom and dad still had their A track, and they
Mhm.
had an A track adapter. We had to put the cassette in the A track adapter. So tell us a little bit about what the transition over the decades has been like.
You know what? It's been cool, but to me, I mean, not to sound like a old head, but to me, the '90s were better. And the only reason I say that it was technology wise, no. But as far as opportunities and focus, yes. There's a lot of distractions in this day and time with social media and everybody just, cluttering the whole industry up because they have access to drop records and produce them or whatever. You had to be in an elite group to even get a record out in the '90s. Now it's just clustered with people just releasing stuff, and they're not focused on the craft as much as they were, if you say 10, 15 years ago, or even longer than that. I think now it's a lot of distractions with the music. It's a lot of things that go with the music industry that doesn't have anything to do with music. So I've noticed that in the years that I've been in and how it's transformed and all of the distractions and everything that you have to deal with on a day to day basis.
Agreed. Agreed. I agree with you 100%. And guys, if you're just checking in, this is Prime Time with your girl Lily Mae, and I am sitting here with one of the greats, Mr. Lee on the track. And so he has worked with, oh my gosh, guys, he has just worked, I'm gonna say everybody, because the reality is that his presence is touched, has touched so many different states, so many different people, so many different genres, and I think that's very, very important. And one of the things I love is that I love that you emphasize don't be a trend chaser. You seem like a trend setter. And people
Hmm.
want to follow in your footsteps and do the things that you're doing. But you know what inquiring minds want to know? Victory lap. What was it like working on that project?
It was dope. It was a long process because the record was being produced and recorded for years. So, I was anxious for the world to hear what he did. And, it was just such a long, tedious process until I had kind of actually backed off because it was just so long and so painstaking waiting to get it done. Was so meticulous about everything. So the way that the Blue Laces 2 record came about, he called me during the end of his album. He said, "Look, man, I'm closing this album out. I'm not going to release this record without you on it. I want to do another Blue Laces record using the same sample." I told him, "Cool, give me a day, let me
Mm,
get a fresh mind." And I went and did the track and I sent it to him the next day. He had recorded it, and it was amazing. And he had sent it out to LeBron. LeBron was listening to it, and he had posted on his Instagram listening to the record and everything else. So I mean, it was always a blast working with him.
absolutely, absolutely. And we definitely salute Nipsey Hussle today. And we salute him being honored and graced by your presence because I definitely, just like he was meticulous about their record, I bet you're meticulous about your sound and you are not going to release anything
No,
that's not Mr. Lee certified.
never, never in the day.
So, what advice would you give to individuals in the industry that are trying to be sound engineers and producers and things of that nature?
I mean, first you got to be the best that you could be at your craft. That's the most important thing first. And then with that, you have to know the business, because having notoriety and a name and no money is not good. And I think if you don't know the business, you don't learn it, and there's nobody really teaching you um, what it is, then I mean, you definitely get lost. So the two most important things is be the best you that you can be, and also you have to know the business that you're in.
And you know, Mr. Lee, you are speaking to everything that, shout out to Skyrocketed, which I serve the lead company for, and Frank Mosley is the CEO. It's so interesting that one of the first things that I always say when he introduced me to a prospective artist is, do you know the business? Are you registered? Is your music registered? Do you know the laws and regulations around registering your brand name or your business with the state? So many artists don't know, they don't know how to read contracts of that nature. They don't even really understand contracts. And so I think it is uber amazing that that was a part of your advice. Now,
Mhm.
when you look at how your career has evolved, the way you define success previously, do you define success now in the same manner as you did maybe 20 years ago?
I pretty much define it the same way I've been defining it since I've been in the music industry. It's the same, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Success is not a certain amount of money, streams, or anything like that. Success is achieving and completing something that you started doing. That's success. I think
Okay.
people that value success on material things and money or missing the mark, because that's a small part of it. Achieving something is getting to a greater level than you started is success.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what are we working on now, and what's next?
Well, right now I have a label. I'm actually working on my Mr. Lee brand. I've done a record called Power that's out now. 20 Years of Power, that's what it's called. And I have a gospel album called Glory coming out. And I have a documentary called 20 Years of Power that's done. We've got a couple of awards at some film festivals for that. We working on release with Netflix on that. And I have another documentary
Okay.
that I'm working on also, that's featuring my great grandfather Charles F. Page, who was the original inventor of the airplane. He was the first one to have a patent in United States for an airplane. So we are getting ready to
Oh,
do,
okay.
yeah, we're doing a documentary and a movie on him also. So we're working on it right now.
Well, we need to make sure, and what I'm doing, people need to know this. So, Paige, right?
Page is Charles F. Page. Is his name.
Wow. And it's interesting because my great grandmother, her last name was Page, and that's what everybody referenced her as, Miss Page, Page. So I don't know. We're gonna have to connect those dots
Yep.
post show, post production. We're gonna connect the dots because one thing about it, that Page in our community isn't necessarily a common last name.
Right.
So we absolutely will connect those dots because she was one powerful woman over here on the East Coast, baby. So, and our roots go deep south if you follow where I'm coming
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. So, we will connect those dots and figure out what's going on. Mr.
Definitely.
Lee, first and foremost, thank you for gracing this platform today. And also let everybody know not only where they can find you on social media, but how they can connect with you for a production.
I mean, basically, you can also, of course, social media. All my social media is Mr. Lee 713. You can contact me on my website, MrLeeOnTheTrack.com. And I mean, if you need to get in contact with me, those are going to be the best two ways to get in contact.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mr. Lee, thank you. Thank you so much for being with me today. And definitely, I'm definitely going to work on connecting those dots. That's one of the things that I
Okay.
think is really, really important as we, move in our careers. I think a part of knowing who you are, like you said, being true to yourself and not chasing trends, but you have to know who you are so that you can know where you're going. And so, thank you so much for your wisdom and for your dedication to the culture.
No problem. Thank you for
Have
asking.
a good day, darling, and thanks.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Mr. Lee on the track. And once again, he was super duper 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 dope. And I'm so elated that he took time out of his busy schedule to be with us today. And guys, please listen. Go to the website, MrLeeOnTheTrack.com and don't forget, Charles F. Page, his grandfather, was the original inventor of the airplane. And I think that is really, really, really dope. Now, before we left, you were listening to some tunes. And I'm going to play a little bit of that while I bring on Miss Lia.
I can feel your warm, I love shoulder. Well, when I come, you always say you can't remember. Well, a glance across the room just doesn't cut it like you used to. I think we are finally too far away after got me
Honey, she got me over here on a slow drag and everything. Let me just bring her to the platform and let her tell y'all who she is. Miss Leah, how are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I am doing great, 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 great. So tell the world who Leah is.
I'm Lia Mangouras. I'm a singer and songwriter, and what you're just listening to is my latest single, Waltz, that just dropped yesterday everywhere.
I got you the day after. I got you the day after. So Leah, I know that you actually you were born in Minnesota, right?
I was born in Seattle, but primarily raised in Minnesota.
Gotcha. So okay, so Seattle to Minnesota, you went to school at Arizona State. So what really started, what cultivated this love for music?
Yeah, I really don't know what that initial spark was. I just always remember from as young as I can remember just always having this love. And if there, like, I remember going to my cousin's piano recitals and being just captivated, or my grandma would be singing. I just always remember having a love for it. So that tied in with my dad always showing me, like the 70s and 80s rock that he grew up with when I was a kid, and then learning to play guitar at 13. It just kind of kept growing. But I really don't know when the initial spark was.
Okay, okay. So you are vocalist. What about instruments?
Yeah, so I've been playing guitar since I was about 13. And then, a little bass, a little piano, nothing fancy, but enough to get some writing in on those instruments for some songs and stuff. But definitely a vocalist firsthand.
Okay, okay, okay. So tell me a little bit about your career development. How,
Yes.
where have you performed and where do you aspire to perform and all of those great things?
Yeah, so when I moved to LA just a few years ago, I was just playing at like local clubs around here, and haven't been since everything. But yeah, it's just kind of the clubs in the Hollywood area that I remember hearing about, that kind of like bands used to play at in the 80s and 90s. Like I remember when I played at the Viper Room with my last band, that was pretty cool for me. But yeah, right. It's just kind of been working on production, working on my brand. I want to make sure that, everything I do, it's polished all around. I want to tie up my loose ends. So I'm just trying to build up everything at once. And I hope I don't ever stop growing, honestly. I don't really have a peak that I want to get to. I just want to continue to grow and learn more things and just keep this passion I have for music going.
Absolutely. So your first show in LA, it was at the Study, a club on Hollywood Boulevard. Tell me a little bit about what that experience was like.
That one was pretty cool. It was very last minute booking. I was actually rehearsing with a band at the time, a backing band for myself, but we had just started rehearsing. We weren't quite ready. And someone hit me up on Instagram and he said, "Hey, we're doing, local artist showcasing at the Study. We'd love to have you in the set." And I just remember accepting before I was like, I don't, I'll do it myself. I just want to get on stage. I'm so excited. So I just, polished up my backing tracks, got my sessions ready, got my guitar and vocal sessions ready and everything like that, just to make sure that I had it on. I was just up there myself and doing a full set.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Leah, we already know that there are highs and there are lows. Talk to us relative to what some of the obstacles have been along the way and how you overcame those.
hmm One of the obstacles I'm struggling with is just, up until this point, just having like day jobs and working 40-plus hour weeks on top of trying to get all my work in for music. There'd be times I would be at work all day, go to the studio, be there till like 6, 7 a.m., and then just have to go to work again. It's just what you had to do, had to pay the bills and then you had to do your craft. Otherwise, neither was worth it, honestly. And
Mm,
then honestly, just trying to learn how to break the next ceiling within each music industry step, because it's not just you're either really small town indie or your top 40 artists. There's so many steps and ceilings you can break through, and it's exciting once you learn how to get to each one, but after you hit through one ceiling, there's just another. So that can be stressful, but it's exciting, yeah.
Excitement. And it seems like excitement would be the term to describe everything that's going on. So you dropped Waltz yesterday. Talk
Yeah.
to us about Waltz. We listened to it, but tell us about Waltz, from the meaning, from the mission, from the motivation, all of that.
Yeah, I started writing it a long time ago. I think it was around New Year's. So it was about 6 months in the works of writing, producing, everything like that. And honestly, the song just kind of unraveled itself. The meaning of it kind of came to me, as opposed to me trying to find a message within it, or like
Okay, okay.
speaking on a message to the audience. And it really just became about this tension that you just want to build and build and build, to the point where either it gets to the peak or it breaks and it releases, whether it's you and another person or you in an environment, goal you're working for, just honestly about the chase.
Got it, got it. Okay, so now, what's next?
I mean, right now I'm just quarantined at home. LA is pretty messed up still, so I'm just writing. Honestly, I don't know if it's Waltz is gonna turn into an EP or an album, or if I'm gonna have some more singles, but I got more songs in my back pocket, and I'm just ready, excited to. I want to give Waltz its good moment in the limelight, though. So we'll let that one have its moment, and then yeah, I have a lot of songs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I always like to have fun with my guests. So, favorite color?
Black.
Really? All right, why?
I'm sorry, what was that? You glitched a little bit.
Why? Why do you like black?
I don't know. It's just kind of my go-to for clothing. It's just my favorite. It's easy. You can put anything with it, honestly.
Okay, okay, all right, cool. Now, do you prefer heels or flats?
Heels, I think.
Hey, my girl, my girl. So, Leah, tell everybody where they can find you on social media and your music.
Well, my music is on all streaming platforms, just Lia Mangouras. My Instagram and Twitter is at Lia Greca, Liagreca. And then all other platforms, it's just straight up Lia Mangouras. So YouTube, Facebook, everything else.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And final thoughts. What are your jewels that you would like to give to other independent artists who are
Mhm.
coming with you and coming behind you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to learn some tools and tips and tricks myself, but I would just say, if you believe yourself, if you believe in yourself, there's no point other than to just keep going. It has to start from this initial fire within you. If that accidentally gets burnt out, that's the thing you have to focus on first, before you worry about keep going and working towards new things. Because if you believe yourself, if you believe in the music you make, the people you put around you, then there shouldn't be an issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Leah, we thank you. We thank you so, 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 so much for being here. It
Yeah.
has been spectacular. It has been spectacular. You are amazing. And I look forward to hearing so much more from you in the days, weeks, months, and years to come.
Oh, thank you so
And you're
much.
welcome back anytime, sweetie. Anytime. Well, thank you so much, Leah. And we are going to listen to Waltz as we close out and get ready to bring our next guest. So I am going to play Waltz for the listeners so that they can get a little taste of it. And Leah, you have a spectacular day.
You as well. Stay safe out there.
Bye bye. Guys, we are winding on down. We have one more guest of the hour.
You always say I can't remember. I glanced across the room just as and had it like he used to. I think we'll finally do for a walk after. to set in your ways. Don't be scared, I'm only trying to find some new escape. So let's call off the rules. You get on work, it's time to close. I think we are finally told our wall.
All righty. And so, guys, definitely check out Lia Mangouras on all social media platforms. And today, the last guest of the hour, she is also, guess what, guys, a fellow guitarist. So I'm so excited, guys, to bring to you the Heather Jane Prescott. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I am so happy to be here. Look, I didn't even put
I'm,
makeup.
I'm so excited. Your energy just
Yours
gives
too.
me love and lots of joy. So now look, my tagline is we bring joy, jewels, and justice. So you gotta bring it all.
Oh, I dig it. Get you some beads. Some
Introduce
jewels.
yourself. Introduce yourself to the world, my dear.
Okay. Hi, I'm Heather Jane Prescott, also known as Only One Sweets. Yeah, I'm a recording vocalist, an aspiring actress, and a model. And currently, I'm a VIP Ignite Rebel, Fearless Rebel. So I am studying, and I love everything that Mr. Lee and Leah had presented. I could totally relate.
Wow. So, okay. We're going to jump right in because VIP Ignite, shout out to Jose, because that's how I definitely met this beautiful young lady. All right. Let's break you down into pieces because we're going to
Right.
talk about the music, but this platform is all about honoring your contributions to the globe. And so music isn't the only thing that you do.
No.
So let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. Where did it all begin?
Okay. The first time I started singing, I was 3 years old. The first song I sang in my parents' car was In Vogue, Don't Let Go. Kid you not?
Hello. Hello, somebody. I love it. I love it. I'm there.
I was 6 when I started. Actually, the first stage I touched, I sang A Whole New World. And my first instrument is my voice, like Leah. The piano I picked up because of church, because of Sister Peter. I'm originally from New Jersey. So I currently live in Baltimore, Maryland, and that's where we are.
Okay, Baltimore, come through. I just had a gentleman on who hails from Baltimore on Tuesday. That is awesome. You know what's so interesting? It seems like almost everybody got their start in church. And just like you, starting to sing at 3, that's about it. That's when they put you up there. You either gonna sing This Little Light of Mine,
Right.
Jesus loves the little
On those
children, or
wings.
Jesus loves me. This I know. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so music.
Mhm.
Let's leave music. How do we get to modeling?
Okay, so all of it is really funny because just like Mr. Lee said, like I basically was a ditz and I've always been an artist and I didn't realize it, right? So I was playing the background, rhythm section support, modeling as well too. I'm a faithful, loyal person, so I went up the street and I would get my hair done at this hair salon that's no longer, I don't even remember the name, but her name was Miss Jade, my stylist, excuse me. She's from down south and she had a model who flaked on her. So my profile picture in Facebook is actually a feature from Ebony magazine from when I took that offer from years ago. And so, trying to fund all the other facets of my life because I have a background in law. And I love that you brought that up. You mentioned that we're more than just one shade, one onion to peel. So yes, I was like, let me make my bread so I can invest in more on my music and I wound up producing as well. And then that way I can, take some pictures, have some art, be holistic. I'm always, into a show.
There you go. But that's what it's about. That's what it's about. So we know that this industry can be cruel,
Mhm.
and if you're not selling sex, you're not selling. How do you stand your ground and maintain who you are?
You know what, girlfriend? I think because it's just my time. Like God just, I wrote this one song, Reverse Cowgirl Girl, years ago, and it's like relevant now when I listen to the lyrics. It's just funny that it comes together all in divine timing. So how I do it is just like Leah said and Mr. Lee, I try to surround myself by positive people, right? And stay grounded into who I am and not let anyone tell me different. Because there's so many times people are like, what's your genre? And I'm like, girl, I got a country song. They're like, I don't like country. Then they hear it and they're like, ooh. The next thing you know, I'm singing Phantom of the Opera. So yeah, I want to remain versatile, but grounded, right? With a clear focus.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's so funny. You never want to put yourself in a box. You want to be the box.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, it's so funny because my analogy is the Venn diagram. You want to be the box. You don't want to be the Venn diagram. You want to be the box. Absolutely. All right. So, favorite color. I'm going there. Favorite color.
Purple. It's always been purple. That's what I mean. Like, it's funny. I didn't even do it on purpose, but purple.
Absolutely. Wait, as you can see, I like all the colors.
I love this. I love unicorn too.
You know, mermaid vibe.
In the box.
So, okay. When you begin to meditate and get into your zone, what does your production process start like from thoughts to paper?
Okay.
To
I love
verbal?
that we're doing this now. I love that because that was how finding myself or learning more about the business with Michael Fumpkin and Miss Deneen White and Alicia Kback. We have like such great coaches that help us, like Miss Antoinette Stratton. She taught us some mind setting along with Miss Tina Greenbaum. She's my therapist. So there's like a whole range of, you know, packing to my spirituality, but I'm a Catholic Baptist Buddhist, Buddhist by philosophy. My grounding starts at 5 a.m. By 5:15, I exercise. I'll walk around the block. And then after I tire myself out, I'll come in and light my candle. And I will sit there and I'll meditate with my affirmations. I got stickies all day with He gives strength to the powerless and weak, you know. And then, you know, I pray. And then after that, you know, about 5:45, give or take, I'll turn on whatever I feel like comes to me. Because when I wake up thinking of photos, scenes, songs. So I really just have to, I'm the opposite. I have to funnel my creativity because I was always that loud, goofy kid that was either too quiet or all of a sudden all off the wall, you know?
And I'm just off the wall all the time.
Yeah, see, like, calm it down. I'm like, no.
And you know what? I love, and I have to shout Mr. Lee back out again because he just gave me so much energy. I don't know about you and
Yes.
Leah, but when he said, don't be a trend chaser, baby, that's exactly why you guys are here with me today because I don't want to chase trends. This platform is for you. This platform is for independent artists and mainstream artists alike that just want an opportunity to talk about themselves and not about all the controversial things that most platforms want to center on. You are my family. When I bring you into my living room, you are chopping it up like
I feel it.
I am. Yes, yes. So I welcome you. I welcome you into my space. Your energy is so wonderful. And I always know when things are divine intervention because of the way that we connected. I have to shout out my MUA, Miss Jania Nicole, because she did all of it.
Yes, I was going to ask you.
She always supports me, so I saw her check in. So I definitely want to shout her out. If you're in the Richmond area or the Tri-Cities, make sure that you check out Jania Nicole MUA on social media.
Sure.
Now, Heather,
okay.
Where are we now, though, with our artistry? Where are we now?
Okay, so it's so interesting that you say that. I have been like, everyone's like, what is she doing? Well, I'm in a collective, a bunch of collectives. I've had 3 bands. So my story began in like working the DIY scene here in Baltimore. So I've touched the stages of the wind-up space and Motor House and like the Baltimore Rock Opera and Slancha. A lot of it has been with 4 Flights Up, my collective, or independently with myself or with my other band, the Stone Jeans, with Isabel Gallus and Meryl on drums. I can't think of his last name right now, but where am I at now before I rush around the world? Right now I'm at VIP. I have 2 EPs. One that's at Milk Boy Studios, shout out to Rock at Starwind Records. Got Legend Noel and Nardo on there as well. So it's exciting. I have to finish that. I recorded 6 out of the 8 tracks prior to the pandemic. My last performance was in front of 2,500 people here for the mayor at the Christmas parade in Hamden. So I'm currently writing. Like Lia said, I got to perform at VIP, a one-man, 5-person show. I got to sing in front of Keith Shockley. And my last accomplishment has been, well, it's not my last, right? The ceiling's wherever it goes. But King Wizard at Ghostcraft and I had collaborated on a lovely ballad that I can play a sample for you, but, yes, I was trying to say it. Thank you.
I'm always in that form. You can only do that here. You can only have your improv Tuesday. So I'm all for it, baby. All for it. Yes, bring it.
How's the sound?
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
She smiles when she feels like screaming, and she sings when she feels like crying. She cries when she's happy, and that's when even she's afraid. Her love is unconditional. She's brave. There's only one thing wrong with her. She forgets what she used to. No longer wishing or hoping she will deserve a better life. The path is right. Right before your eye to see. Let's do every beautiful thing to remind you that you're unique. That I love you, girl, 'cause you're just like me, and I love you, girl. It ain't easy once you believe.
I'm gonna pause it there. It's gonna be a little sample. Don't want to kill everybody.
Oh my gosh. It was so soothing and so peaceful. Music isn't music anymore. And I think that that's something for me. I am big on music. I love music. And, I need to hear what you're saying. I need you to enunciate your words. So
Yes.
this was just, utterly, utterly amazing. Utterly amazing.
Oh, I appreciate you so
Please.
much.
Yes.
I really.
Please tell everybody where to find you on social media.
Oh, you can find Heather Jane Prescott since I let go of my Only One Sweets. You can just look for my name on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Reverb, and iTunes, anywhere, SoundCloud. Hopefully, we're going to pitch this for movies, so hopefully you'll hear it there and on some video games. But yeah.
Absolutely. So you definitely want to check out Nelson K. Johnson because he does a lot of, putting music in films and things of that nature. And I'll try to make that for you as well. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I want to act with you. Look.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Right?
Let's go. So my social media has stirred up some stuff. It has stirred up.
You are so good. I love that clip.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any jewels or pearls of wisdom for artists coming behind you?
You know what? I'm going to just say the same feedback for people to continue to remain true to who they are, to have a really good grounding on their surroundings and their family and their friends and keeping their energy, guarding their heart above all things, but putting God first. And then I'm going to last not make it about me. I really would love for everyone to please check out the Child Under Development, the CSDF on Instagram. They're partnered with Flowy. And so I'm partnered with them. Our little baby girls in Africa, they need some tampons. It's so hard in third world country, and picture a pandemic trying to get some education, water, and sanitary napkins. So that's where I'm at. I'm on to, trying to keep that good love in life and, just model by example.
We're gonna make sure
I'm
that
putting it in this chat room right now.
follow CSDF on Instagram. We'll make sure that they, that people see this, because that is very, very important. Very, very important. It's so, we live in a time where people are so centered and so selfish. So we definitely want to make sure that we are always thinking of others and supporting others. Wow. And thank you so, so, so much. And I'll make sure that I put that up and hopefully give everybody an opportunity to copy it down or go ahead and follow. Yep, and support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you so much for being here today. I had a spectacular time with you. And until we meet again, peace, love, and blessings, dear.
Likewise. You too, boo. You have a great day. Thank you.
All right, you too, darling. Guys, that was Heather Jane Prescott. So we started off with Mr. Lee on the track, and then we moved into Lia Mangouras, and she is a vocalist and guitarist. And guess what? We ended with another vocalist and guitarist. Guys, this has been a very calm, refreshing, soothing Saturday on Primetime with SENOJ. And I thank you so much for being here with me. Remember, I'm always here to bring independent artists, mainstream artists, business owners, entrepreneurs, and all other global influences to honor your contributions to the world. And if you want to be a part of this experience, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But until next time, I always aspire to bring you joy, jewels, and justice.